folks. Welcome to another episode of the Snowy's Camping Show. Joined, as usual, by myself, Ben, and my colleague, Lauren. How you going?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. We've got something a little bit different today, but before we jump into that, if you haven't joined us before, you can subscribe to our channel via YouTube on your favourite podcast app, and you can join in on the conversation at the Snowy's Camping Banter Facebook group, which is a good segue to something different that we're trying today. Right?
We are. Yeah, so we thought we would we've been doing fortnightly episodes for a while and we'd really love to get back to weekly episodes. And we both have the propensity to waffle on a bit, as I'm sure quite a lot of listeners would know.
One of us.
So sometimes our episodes can go anywhere up to an hour. So we're going to try something new, going back to weekly episodes, but aiming to do around 10-minute short sort of banter bites is what we're aiming to call them.
Banter bites based on the Snowy's Camping Banter group.
Yes, and bites obviously meaning little snack size.
Literally the first name we came up with and went.
You ran with that. That was
an
boss.
hour ago, and we were talking about it going, let's do this. And
what do we call it? Banter bites.
So we've locked it in. The research is done.
Research is done. So basically we've got our little Snowy stubby holder here. That is our pot of questions. Now these questions will come from in the past we've done Q&A episodes and they've been really great. So these questions will come from not only our customer support team who answer your calls every day, but also our in-store staff and also at Brendale and Keswick as well, to try and answer and address those really common questions that we get. If you're in the Snowy's Camping Banter Facebook group as well and you have a question that you want to have addressed in one of these episodes, post it in the group and along with the hashtag banter bites, because that will make it really easy for us to search those questions when we're needing to refill our pot.
And we'll try and answer them in about 10 minutes. We said if we aim for 10, it'll be between 5 and 15. Probably more likely 15.
Everybody's
we're not
time
off to a
poor,
good
right?
start. We're 2 minutes 50 in already and we haven't covered it.
7 minutes left. But everyone's time poor, right? So it's like you're not always going to have time to just sit down and listen to a 45-minute episode. So hopefully these are going to be more accessible and more enjoyable all round.
These are episodes for your tea break in the morning.
Yeah, or your little drive to work or I don't know, whatever. Let's stop.
Let's try and make this short. So we're 3 minutes in now. We've got a timer in front of us.
It's our first one. So first question. Okay, so can I use my 270 awning with a lift back vehicle?
Okay,
so this is a really great question and I reckon I put this one in because I reckon I've had about 4 of these phone calls this week. So obviously a lift back vehicle is a car where your tailgate or your boot door or whatever, it's going to lift up as opposed to opening on the side hinge or be barn doors, right? Mm-hmm. When you have a 270-degree awning, the aluminium extrusion swings out and around across the back of your car. So for a lot of people, they don't know about whether or not their awning is going to fit.
Yep.
So without physically fitting it on, there's no way that we can really guarantee that it's going to be perfect. But there's a few things that you can do to eliminate it. Will eliminate your options, I guess, or work it out from the get-go. The first thing is when your vehicle's standing flat and you've got your roof racks on, you open your lift back and you measure the actual apex of the lift back on the back of your vehicle and how high that is in relation to the tops of your roof rack or your roof platform. Mm-hmm. If it exceeds your roof racks or your roof platform, the next thing you're going to want to do is work out the 270-degree awning that you're looking at, the height of the backing plate, mm-hmm. and how many extrusions are coming off that rear hinge.
And also how you're mounting it to your vehicle. If you've got it, depending on where it hangs on your vehicle, is it above the roof rack? Is it below the roof rack? You're going to need to consider all of those dimensions first. And also, even you're probably going to go into this shortly, the ones that have poles or are missing a pole to allow for that, you need to consider how wide that tailgate is, that if you draw a line extending out from the ends of the vehicle where it's mounted, that it's not going to strike the pole that comes straight out from the end.
Yeah, correct.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. Because like you said, you have some that will only have potentially 3 extrusions off that back, and then there are some that have 4. So when you're looking at those awnings, and again, you said where it's mounted, some awnings will come with an L-shaped bracket, and those L-shaped brackets might give you the possibility of mounting it with the L shape pointing down, which means your awning is going to hang lower than your roof rack, or with the L shape pointing up, which means that it's going to sit above your roof racks. Now, above your roof racks is going to be the most likely mounting system that you're going to use if you have a lift back.
Mm-hmm.
Then the height of the backing plate of your awning, so say it's maybe 20 centimetres. If there are 4 aluminium extrusions that come off that back hinge, you can pretty safely sort of break it down into 5 centimetre increments per extrusion arm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which means that sitting mounted above your roof racks, 15 centimetres up is roughly where that top aluminium extrusion is gonna sit. If your lift back is going to be exceeding 15 centimetres above your roof rack, it's most likely that that's going to hit.
I think for the most part, you want to find an awning that doesn't have that extra arm at the back, and 230 have got a version. There's their Extreme, their Falcon Extreme and their Falcon. And I'm trying to recall which one doesn't have the extra arm now. Off the top of my head, I can't. But there's an arm that comes directly like 90 degrees out from the back of the car, or extends straight out from the back of the car. And then the next arm goes across the back of the car. So you can actually open the tailgate, then it can sit against the fabric, but it doesn't strike a pole.
Is it their Extreme because it's got the zip in it where you can come down from the rooftop 10?
So you can then open your tailgate and all it's hitting is the fabric. Mm-hmm. So you probably want to look for one of those. If you don't have, you're going to need a fair bit of clearance for an awning that has got 4 arms across the back, because one of those arms sits diagonally across. Or basically, if you're standing underneath at the rear of your car, it will run across the top of your head. And if you open up your tailgate, it's going to hit that pole. You're probably going to have to mount your awning very high for that to clear. So look for an awning that doesn't have that extra arm. Yeah.
The other thing you can do is when you're mounting your awning as well, you can obviously position the awning in terms of where it sits, how far forward or how far back it sits, and try and line up that hinge section with the divot and the hinge of your tailgate of your back door, because obviously you've got the top of the body of your car, then it sort of drops down a little bit where your hinges are, and then it pops up again on your actual tailgate door. Mm. So you can try and line up that little hinge assembly so you know your extrusion is going to be running in a bit of a divot.
Yeah, the one that runs parallel to the back of the car.
Yeah.
You want that far enough back.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the other thing to consider is even if you are lifting your tailgate up and it's not hitting aluminium extrusion, you want to make sure, or extrusion in general, you want to make sure that it's not putting too much pressure on the canvas though, that it's so low that that door is really pushing up and tensioning the canvas, especially if you're going away when it's raining, because that's going to stretch out your canvas as well. So the extra thing to consider when all else fails is getting a piece of webbing strap. It's got a carabiner on both ends. So when you're setting up, you can just connect it to somewhere inside your vehicle, maybe like your little locking loop or whatever, and then up on your door. And so you can still open up your tailgate, but it's good, that little strap is going to prevent it from opening the whole way up. Mm-hmm. So it's obviously going to sit above the point where it's going to naturally want to collapse again, but it's not going to go the whole way up, because that's not going to damage your car and it's not going to damage your awning.
Yep. So to summarize, can you use a 270 awning with a lift up tailgate on your vehicle? You can, but you're going to just measure it out first.
Yeah.
Look at your vehicle. It's not a black and white yes or no answer. Look at your vehicle, the geometry of how it all works, where you mount the awning. And even if you've decided, I can make this fit, just check and double check, because I know some of the awnings now have the actual bag goes on the outside of the backing plate, and you've got to put holes in the bag for the screws to come through. Mm-hmm. Make sure you know where you're putting those holes before you put it on your vehicle, so that you can position it forward and back far enough. So you need to consider that forward back placement. Mm-hmm. Also brackets up, brackets down for the height. Mm-hmm. If looks like you're going to hit it, either use your strap method or go for one of the awnings that doesn't have the extra arm that runs diagonally across the rear of the vehicle.
Yep. Beautiful. Love that. So what are we at? We're just over 10 minutes now.
That's I reckon. Pretty good.
Yeah. Well done. Yeah. Great. I reckon that's a pat on the back for us.
It's our shortest episode ever. We haven't finished yet though, but we'll wind up now.
Yeah, let's not push it out.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
More Banter Bites coming your way and still more long episodes and stuff as well. As we mentioned, subscribe on YouTube, your favourite app, or join in on the conversation. Let us know any Banter Bites questions you've got. #Banter Bites.
And your feedback or your opinion on this new sort of idea that we've got.
Yeah, if you think it's rubbish, we'll stop it. We'll give it a go, but we'll listen to you. If you don't like it, we'll change it. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Catch you later.
Bye.